Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your bonus reading for February 2026. We're going to focus on mostly Saturn moving into Aries, and I'll talk about that in a second. You have this companion card. It says loyal, devoted, courageous, and friend. You have this angel. It says divine messenger, guide, and protection. So obviously, you could be attracting or working on a relationship. It could just be a friend. Again, I'm not talking about love. Could be anything. With a person who's all of those things, loyal, devoted, and courageous. And it could be a guide. You have this angel card. So I definitely think that we have guides here on Earth, people that kind of guide us towards something or make us, work towards something or move towards something or help us on our journey. And, definitely could be attracting a person like that. And like I said, could be a friend, family member, mentor, could be a lover, whatever you're into, right, Capricorn? You start this reading with the moon card. We're doing a Celtic cross, and the moon card can represent, the first card is how you are entering into the reading. And so the moon can be about being unsure about your journey or not being sure where you're going. Again, I think that I've said this a million times to you, Capricorn, that it really doesn't surprise me that you would be unsure, about your future, where things are headed. I don't really think this is a bad thing either for Capricorn, like if you're not sure. I just think it is what it is in some ways, and I also feel that you are, whether you realize it or not, you probably are progressing. This is part of the Fool's journey, and then he has to get from here to these mountains in the background, and those mountains in the background represent an achievement. Also, the moon doesn't stay up forever. The moon comes up, moon goes down, sun comes up. So eventually there will be clarity, is what the card basically says. And so I feel that you really have not much to worry about here. One thing I will say that's standing out to me is we have this dog and this wolf, or the dog and coyote, whichever you prefer. And they can represent balancing your domestic side and your wild side. And you start with that companion card that has a dog on it. So, this could be encouraging you to be a little bit more wild, right? Be a little bit more willing to, experiment, try new things, embrace that rebellious side that you have, and, kind of like be willing to see how things go instead of just always like following the rules, right? I feel like I say this to you a lot about following the rules as well, Capricorn. And again, of course, I am not encouraging you to like break the law or something like that. But, as a person who is dominated by Capricorn as well, I'm talking about, I know that Capricorn can definitely think things should work a certain way, or just be like, oh, these are the rules that I have to stick to, and I can't bend the rules, or I can't make my own rules. And so I do feel it's asking you to like embrace that wild nature just a little bit more. Your crossing energy is the Six of Swords. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. And so the Six of Swords is about moving on to calmer shores. And, I think the Six of Swords for you could be about allowing things to be a little bit more easy. The Six of Swords is a little bit, this woman and the child in the boat, they're going across choppy waters. This person here is a guide. This guy, he goes back and forth between choppy waters. So again, there could be, with that companion card, there could be, in the angel card as well, there could be a person in your life that has like an easy answer for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or do. But it's kind of like you have to open your mouth to get that easy answer. The other thing that I feel for Capricorn, and I've been saying this to you forever, is, this is about, they are completely starting over. That woman and the child in the boat, they're bringing nothing with them but the clothing on their back. And they're doing this for the hopes of a brighter future, but they have no freaking clue what is going to happen on the other side of those choppy waters. So, and I think that's where Capricorn is at. It's like, you probably know that you need to make certain moves or, do something different with your life, but, this is about doing it. And there is no good answer here, Capricorn, because it's like, you want to do something different, but I think you have to like leave the old story behind, the old comfort zone, the old, things that you used to do, and, that's really what this card is asking you. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Four Cups. Four Cups is like the fear of disappointment, which I'm pretty sure has been coming up for you for a couple weeks now. Maybe not this card, but I'm pretty sure I said this to you last week even, that the fear of disappointment could be getting in your way. That's more what I feel intuitively. The Four Cups can be like thinking the grass is greener, or thinking that things are going to be better or whatever. But, intuitively, I feel for you, again, he's tried something at least 3 times before, and he's not accepting this 4th cup because he's afraid that it's going to be just like the last 3. And so I feel like the 4 cups is really encouraging you to try again. You even have the 9 of wands here in your past position, which is, a card of trying again. So if you're getting any opportunities that remind you of past opportunities, I kind of feel like this is saying you have to try again. And the other thing is we go down to the 8 of cups to the Ace of Swords. So, 8 of cups is about walking away from the familiar. The Ace of Swords would be a victory. And, the 8 of cups basically is saying you can do things differently at this time. You can move different. You can change the maybe you were too domestic the first time you tried to have something in your life. Maybe, bending the rules or doing things that are outside of the rules, but not necessarily breaking the law, like I said. That could be very helpful. You have the 2 of wands in your foundation. So same thing with the 2 of wands. He's standing on top of a castle that he has already built. And we have this wand behind him, and that wand stands on its own. But he's reaching forward and grabbing this new wand, and he has the whole world in his hands. So the 2 of wands wants us to get out of a comfort zone, wants us to release something that we've already built, and it wants us to expand our kingdom, and wants us to go and build the next great thing in our life. And I feel like that's what this is encouraging you to do. It's like saying, it's like the 4 cups could be focusing too much on what was, or what has been. And the 2 of wands is like, why are you even thinking about what was? There's so much in front of you. And really, that's the feeling I get off the 2 of wands. It's like saying you're spending way too much time thinking about how things used to be. And now it's time to get out into the world and expand your kingdom and build your next big castle or whatever the hell it is. Next, in the area of your past, this is the energy you're moving past. You have the Sun card, it says Source on it. You have this Opposition card, it says Confrontation on it. So you could be moving past certain confrontations that you've been experiencing in your life. The Sun card, I don't necessarily think you're disconnecting with Source or anything like that. I think you're really kind of maybe getting more into alignment is what these 2 cards are saying. Confrontation would not be alignment. And so I think you're getting into alignment with Source. You have the 9 of wands in the past. Again, fighting for things is what I feel here. 9 of wands is the wounded warrior. So, he is not necessarily fighting for things, but I do feel that maybe your whole entire life so far, Capricorn, maybe you have felt like everything is a battle or everything has had to be a battle. And I feel like the 9 of wands is encouraging you to change that energy. It's basically saying that not everything has to be so hard. It's like, what if things could be easy? I think I said this to you recently as well. And, if I were a Capricorn, that's basically what I would be focusing on is instead of, making things hard, how can I make them efficient or faster or not so difficult? And, maybe you need to tell yourself that you don't always have to accept the hard way of doing things. 9 of wands is also my card of experimentation. And again, even though it's showing up in the past, I think, we're in an amazing time for experimentation. So 9 of wands is throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks and not attaching too much to it, which I think would be great for you, Capricorn. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this vulture spirit. It says nothing is wasted. You have this armadillo. It says set healthy boundaries. Yes, 9 of wands. 9 of wands is a boundaries card. So it's perfectly fine for you to try something again if you have boundaries. The vulture spirit, vultures are masters of conservation. They soar around in the sky. They don't flap their wings until they find food, right? So they really kind of save their energy until an opportunity presents itself. A lot, and thinking back on 2025, a lot of your readings were all about opportunities and needing to be ready for any opportunity that comes your way and needing to just kind of be chilled out in the meantime. And so I think that would be a good thing for you to think about with that vulture spirit. Another thing that I would say is that vultures are symbols of purification. And you don't have the devil here, but a lot of people have been getting the devil for like the past 2 months or so. And, it is popping into my head. I think, purifying anything that you can could be like your diet, could be your mental diet, and the things that you feed your brain, the stories that you tell yourself, all that. I think making sure you're purifying those things would be a good idea. Also, in the very near future, you have the Eight of Cups, which is, again, walking away from things that no longer serve you. So I do feel that you will be walking away from those 8 cups. And, those 8 cups represent something that you could be settling for. There's a missing cup right here. So he is deciding to walk away from those 8 cups. And he is deciding to go on a journey to hopefully find his 9 of Cups or true fulfillment. I always say 8 of Cups can be a little scary because he's not sure if he's going to be able to find something or not, but he has to go and do it anyway. And he knows that if he were to stay in that situation, that he would be stuck. And he would ultimately be settling. And I think when we settle, we basically tell the universe that we're okay settling. And so then the universe never brings us anything better, right? And so I feel this is saying make sure that you're not settling for less. In your outcome row, you have this strategy card. It says plan, scheme, and strategize your future and take the next right action for your life. You have this make your mark card. It says stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. Yes. A lot of your readings last year, again, in 2025, were all about making sure that you make your own decisions and move your own direction and don't necessarily listen to other people. And so I think that would be good. Great year for strategy, for sure. I think we should have a loose strategy, if that makes sense, because the problem with this year, not really a problem, but just something to think about, I think, is that it is a good year for strategy. But I think if we're too fixed on a strategy, then we're going to just be creating a bunch of resistance, right? So I think it's better to have a loose strategy where it's you have a plan that you're kind of following. But if you get inspired to try something different, you experiment with it. You just try it and you see what happens, right? And if that works, then that's the direction you move in. So we have to have a plan, but a flexible plan. And, that's really what I would focus on with those 2 cards. Next, over the next few months, amazing. You have the Ace of Swords, which is great. Ace of Swords can be a big victory or big success coming in for you. That sword is above the mountains, so the sword above the mountains can represent overcoming an obstacle or conquering some sort of obstacles. Could be multiple obstacles in your life. We talked about you building a new castle in your life with that 2 of Wands, and there's a crown at the top of this sword. So a lot of you could be kind of claiming a new crown in your life. This could be, an achievement, could be a new job, could be something new that you're getting, could be the person that you want to be seen as. I do feel this is a little bit of a deeper reading. It's more it's more talking about maybe the the story that you're living. And so again, this is this really one thing? I would say no. It's probably a collection of things in your life that you are claiming, which is great. I definitely feel that's a good energy. The readings have been kind of deep during this time. And again, with Neptune changing signs especially, again, today is the 24th. This video will be published the day before Neptune moves into Aries on the 26th. So, again, if you're watching it early or if you're watching it at the end of January, again, I think a lot of people are going to feel it's I don't know if changing your identity is the right word to use, Capricorn, but it is almost like you're stepping into your true identity. Ace of Swords is your inner truth. It is the truth. And so, if there are things that aren't in alignment with that 8 of Cups toward that are true to you in the life you want to live, then those are the changes you're making. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life. You have the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've had something similar to this as well. 7 of Pentacles is analysis. It can be analysis paralysis, but really it's kind of analyzing all the connections in your life with the 7 of Pentacles here and deciding, is the juice worth the squeeze? Who is worth it, who is not worth it to be in your life, who adds and who subtracts from your life. I literally feel that this 7 of Pentacles is just that simple for you at this time, just deciding oh, okay, these people add, these people subtract. I'm going to spend more time with the people who add to my life, right? And that seems to be what you're doing with the 7 of Pentacles. I also feel a lot of you could be having a realization. Again, this is outside of relationships. I just feel in general that you are looking for more growth. It's like, the way I read is I put myself in your shoes, when I'm reading, and I feel like you are almost like bored of your results, or, it's like, I think you're just ready to grow something new. He's been growing the same pentacles for maybe years, and now he wants to like explore growing something different. And so I think you're ready to just, start putting in the work into something new. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Justice card, which is amazing. The Justice card could say you're feeling more balanced, or you're feeling like you want to be more in a neutral position at this time, which I also think is great. Again, I've said it before, I think there are going to be a lot of distractions going on in the world over between now and 2033. It just is what it is. And, we can allow those things to distract us, and we can feed the energy, or we can feed ourselves and change the world. So, that's basically what I would be doing. That's what I am doing. I don't watch the news. I never know what's going on. And people always say, how could you not watch the news? And I'm always like, well, if something bad enough happens, people will tell me about it. So, there's really no point, is what I would say. Plus, that's what they do. They just create a bunch of craziness to distract us, right? And I think it's really important that we pay very close attention to what we are doing, because we are the ones that are going to change the world. Pluto and Aquarius, us little people, as I always say, us normal people, are going to be the ones that fix things. So again, the best way to do it is to live your best life, and that's what I would do with the Justice card. Your outcome is the Two of Pentacles. Again, I feel pretty good about this. Two of Pentacles can be work hard, play hard. So I would make sure that if you're working hard, that you're playing hard, and, balancing that side of things out. But overall, Two of Pentacles can represent a settlement. There's some cards in the tarot I call clue cards. Two of Pentacles to me is a clue for like a settlement. And the settlement could be coming from like the universe, meaning you've already put a bunch of work into something or into your life, and now you're getting the results. And so that is more the feeling I get off of the Two of Pentacles. It's saying to me that there's like a settlement, or the universe is returning energy that is owed to you, which is great. We're going to clarify now here, Capricorn. Capricorn, make sure to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Really helps me out. With the Moon and the Six of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, I think you need to not call attention to your weaknesses, of course. The solution to the Five of Pentacles is very simple. All we have to do is focus on our strengths. At the same time, I also feel like the universe is saying there's something you could have right now that you want. And I know that's easier said than done. It's easy for me to sit here and say that, but I really feel that there's like something you want, and I feel like you're making too big of a deal out of it, or it's like it's much closer than you think. And again, I'm not trying to make this sound like super easy or anything, but I do think that if you have a goal or a wish or a dream with that Ace of Swords or something that you have your eye on, I feel this is saying like, just get rid of it. Just get rid of this, right? Throw it out, and then start working towards whatever it is that you want. Start making the moves. With the Four of Cups, you have the Three of Pentacles. I think you need to put yourself on a pedestal, really, just in general. He's kind of like standing on this bench. He's kind of a pedestal, not really, but kind of. And, he's allowing his results to speak for themselves. I think that is a big thing for Capricorn, for sure, is that, moving forward, I think you're going to notice how your results speak for themselves. It's like no one's going to care about what you have to say. And I don't mean that to sound like a jerk, Capricorn. I mean that as in, it's just not going to matter, right? And I think that, again, people will not be able to argue with the results you produce. So, like, if you're thinking about building something or creating something, I would just do it, because, again, the results will speak for themselves. And, again, this reading seems to be a lot about your story. And so, if you build something, then that becomes part of your identity. And we were talking about changing your identity as well. And, I think all that is going to be important for you. With the Two of Wands, you have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups can be a turnaround. Six of Cups can be kind of like innocence and nostalgia, thinking about the past. We were kind of talking about that with the Two of Wands. He's not really stuck in the past, but a little bit, right? He's standing at the top of that castle. He has the opportunity to get out into the scary world in front of him. And maybe he is a little scared, because he's like, I built this castle. I don't want to leave it and have to go build another one, right? But at the same time, if he does that, he will be expanding his kingdom. He will become more successful, and he will become, better as a person. So, I feel like the reading is encouraging that. Six of Cups, again, I'm pretty sure I've said this to you recently as well. Sometimes I feel like the Six of Cups is about handling something too carefully, or, trying to be too delicate with something. And, it's almost like you need to be willing for, 4 cups, right? It's like he's afraid of accepting that cup because maybe it'll break. And the Six of Cups is like, well, yeah, maybe, but also maybe not. So there you go. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Five of Swords. I literally said battling on that Nine of Wands, or whatever the hell I said. I don't remember. And I think that it's like you need to be done fighting for things. Like if you're coming up with a business plan or something and you're thinking, I'm going to, charge forward and I'm going to battle my way out. It's like, no. The universe is like, no, those days are over right here. It's done. It's like you need to think about how you can just slide right into it, whatever the picture is that you have for your life. And you need to think, like, how could this be easy? What if it was easy? What if I just knew that it was easy? And I really, you need to spend some time thinking about that, Cap. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, like, feeling like you're not ready. Seven of Wands, he has a shoe and, like, a boot on his foot here. That can represent the fact that he feels like he had to rush out of his home to defend his position at the top of the hill. So he was in such a rush, he put on 2 different shoes. But... and, for us, it can say that we feel like we're not ready to do something, but really we're as ready as we're going to be. And so I feel like the Seven of Wands is saying you're as ready as you're going to be to go, commit to something or accomplish something, and you just need to do it. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, Seven of Cups is about being spoiled for choice. Ace of Swords is laser-like focus, so there are good things and bad things in these cups on the Seven of Cups. This guy here, he just needs to pick the outcome he desires, and that's it. That needs to be his focus. He needs to eliminate all the other focuses. The thing is you have 2 sevens here, and 2 sevens represents internal fears that don't exist. So you have to, like, release fears with 2 sevens to accomplish, what you want. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, I mean, could be a little bit of love if you want it. This is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. And the Page of Cups could be an admirer, a new person. You could admire a person. They could admire you, whatever. You do have this companion card. It says loyal, devoted, courageous, and friend. So it could be a person like that. But definitely, if you're looking for love, it looks pretty good. With the Justice card, you have the Temperance card. Like, every single card here is basically saying you are over-prepared. The Justice card, the Temperance card, the Temperance angel here is trying to turn water into wine. But he has this path right here. This is the path to glory, and there's a glowing crown at the background. We've been talking about you claiming your crown this whole entire time. It's like there's nothing more for him to perfect. There's nothing more for him to do. He just needs to, he could easily just start walking towards that crown, and he could go and claim it. And so I really do, like, again, I'm not trying to be dramatic here or anything, but I do think something is easier than you are making it out to be. Yeah, sure, it's still going to require work, but it doesn't have to be a battle. It doesn't have to be something where you're, like, fighting for it. It can be easy. And, again, easy still means work, but, easier than you're thinking. Here you go. With the Two of Pentacles, you end with the Chariot, which is a beautiful way to end this reading. The Chariot is like a victory, straightforward success, charging towards a victory, charging towards success. It is a card of moving different as well. He's moving away from the city behind him. So the whole entire reading is saying you're, like, moving away from something to go have a victory. You have this Valley card. It says deep personal strength and peace that assures success. Yeah, Five of Pentacles, like, I would work on that, developing an energy of peace and, being assured of yourself and all that. You have this arrow. It says you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Yes. Yeah. Again, I think I said at the beginning of the reading with the Six of Swords and the moon or something, it's like you have something you want. And, this is basically saying go for it. And you have this make your mark card. So it's like whatever you're thinking about is probably where you are going to make your mark. You have this Grapes card. Time to go out and have fun. Yes, we said it on the Two of Pentacles. Work hard, play hard. Make sure you're doing things that fulfill you. More fun is always the answer for Capricorn. So, I always say Capricorns are like little old people when they're children. And then you're supposed to get younger as you get older. Capricorns age in reverse. So, Again, if you're not having fun, then you're just staying old. So, there you go. You have this elephant. It says, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. Chariot. Chariot can be a long journey, but it's worth it because it leads to a victory. So I would go on whatever that journey is, and, I would enjoy it. You have this casket. It says, someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. Obviously, there is definitely the end of a situation in this reading. 2 of Wands, 6 of Swords, Moon, 8 of Cups, Ace of Swords, Chariot, all of it, right? You're like ending things needing to be hard or things needing to be a battle, and you're moving in a new direction. So that looks amazing, Capricorn. Love it. Definitely love ending with the Chariot. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, comment, really helps me out, and definitely enjoy your month.